Okay, so we are looking at unit 3, which is inventory management. Now, in inventory management, we consider the inventory demand, inventory and dependent demand inventory management models. There we are going to have there are 3 models, of course. For the first one, where we look at model 1, which is the purchasing model. Then we also have model 2 on this one, which is the production model. And then model 3, which is the discount model. So we have to get into details where we look at determining inventory order quantities, which is the EOQs. Find the EOQ, which is economic order quantity there. And then we find also determining the inventory order points. And then the last one is inventory ABC classification. Okay, so we can get down to the inventory and independent inventory model, management models. Of course, first and foremost, we need to understand the advantages of keeping stock. We also need to understand the disadvantages of keeping stock. So inventory simply means stock. Okay, so inventory simply means stock. So we'll get into what are the advantages of keeping stock and what are the disadvantages of keeping stock. Okay, so inventory is a stock of an item or resource used in an organization. And inventory in the system is the result of imperfection in demand forecasting, the production and supply delivery. But of course, we need to understand the inventory types. So inventory types, we have the raw materials and the purchased parts from outside suppliers. So that is one component of inventory type. Then we can also look at the components, which is the sub-assemblies. And
is the network clear?
Yes, you're clear.
Okay, so those are the, let's say, inventory. So in inventory types, we're looking at raw materials and the purchase parts from the outside suppliers. We look at the components, the sub-assemblies that are waiting final assembly. Then the work in progress is also part of the inventory type. And then the finished goods. Okay, so now we get into what are the advantages of keeping stock. Okay. Okay, so now we get into this inventory management. So as we know, inventory means stock. Then we have the advantages of keeping stock. So the first one is you keep stock so that the firm does not incur ordering costs. You're avoiding every time to make an order. Okay, so you keep stock also, so you don't incur ordering cost, you don't incur acquisition cost, and you don't incur the stock out cost. So that is the first component of advantage of keeping stock. And then keep stock in order to maintain the customer's goodwill. Goodwill is just created so that every time when the customers come to buy from you, they actually know that you have the stock, so you not shake their confidence. Then we get into the disadvantages of keeping stock. So when you're keeping stock, the firm incurs carrying costs, e.g. paying for warehousing salaries and wages, then paying for floor space charge related to warehousing activities, and also you have to insure the stock. Okay, so that's the advantage of keeping stock. And then inventory may be damaged. That's the disadvantage, another one. Inventory may be damaged or spoiled. Okay, so that is its advantage. Or it can be stolen. Inventory may be stolen. Okay, because you see, when you are keeping stock, you need to pay for warehousing, and for those people who are managing stock, you need to pay them their salaries and wages because they are keeping your stock, they're managing your stock. Now, in inventory management, there are three models. Okay, so here we look at model one, which is the purchasing model. So it's the model where the firm is buying goods from the suppliers. Then we have model two, which is the production model. You don't want to continue buying. You don't want to continue buying. You want to produce your own goods. Then you also have the model three, the last model, which is the discount model. So this model is where the firm are buying goods from the supplier and they want to take advantage of the discount. Okay, so now we get into model one. So model one, which is the purchasing model. So it's a model where the firm is buying units of the commodity from the suppliers. So for this one, we consider the following. The first aspect, you look at the EOQ, the economic order quantity. So how many units of commodity can the firm order from the suppliers? So there, that's the EOQ, economic order quantity. So you are looking at the capital D is annual demand. Then the EOQ is economic order quantity. So how many units you can order at a time. Then the S is the ordering cost per order. And then the C is the carrying cost per unit per year. So the C is the carrying cost per unit per year. Okay, so now carrying cost is always the percentage of acquisition cost. So carrying cost is always the percentage of acquisition cost or the unit price. So when we're talking about carrying cost, it's also called the holding cost or storage cost. So that's the carrying cost there. So that's the formula to use when you're finding the economic order quantity when you're looking at the purchasing model. Then we're getting down to the other one where we find the number of orders per year. So number of orders per year, how many units can you order at a time? So our N is the number of orders per year. How many times can you order in a year to meet the annual demand? So you are going to look at the capital D, which is annual demand, over EOQ, so that you find how many times can you order in a year to meet the annual demand. So these formulas, all of them, they are just on the, we're just looking at all these formulas now. They are on the purchasing model. We haven't yet gone into the production model. So now cycle time. So now that's formula number 3. So this is the time between orders, and it's calculated by, so cycle time is equal to Q over D multiplied by the days of the year. So this is the time between orders. So cycle time is equal to Q over D multiplied by the days of the year. So, okay. So now where Q is the EOQ, the quantity there is the EOQ, and then D is annual demand. Okay, so D is annual demand, and then multiplied by the days of the year. So this cycle time, you can say Q over D multiplied by the days of the year, or if the company they're operating in weeks, the cycle time is equal to Q over D multiplied by the weeks of the year. And then you take the weeks, 52 weeks. Days of the year, you use 365. But sometimes they'll give you the days. Maybe other days they were not working. So you find they'll give you 250 days, meaning other days might be other weekends and all holidays, they were not working. So they can give you 250. So if they don't give you the number of days, you take it 365 days. All right, then. So we can now get into the other formula just on the same, which is on reorder point. So reorder point is a point at which the firm should order units of the commodity again. So you see, for the order point, this is where we say you don't have to wait for the minimum to finish for you to order again. So you should have a certain level to say, should the stock fall to this level, then we should order the units of the commodity again. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is it, the order point, which is equal to EDDLT, which is expected demand during lead time, then plus the safety stock. Okay, so this is EDDLT. So the order ROLT is the order point, which is about expected demand during lead time, then plus the safety stock. Now, lead time is just the time taken between when you place an order and when you receive an order. That is what we call lead time. So when you place an order and when you receive an order, is that we call lead time. You can place an order for a cake today, but you can tell it to say you can only receive the cake after 2 days. So 2 days is the lead time. Okay, so now expected demand during lead time is equal to daily demand multiplied by lead time. That is how much expected demand that's how much demand you expect during lead time. So daily demand is what annual demand divided by the days of the year. Then safety stock is the buffer stock kept for security reasons. Yeah. So safety stock is a buffer stock kept for security reasons. So safety stock is equal to Z value multiplied by the standard deviation of demand multiplied by the square root of lead time. Okay, so this is how you get a safety stock. So Z value multiplied by standard deviation of demand multiplied by the square root of lead time. Now, the order point can also be computed where the safety stock is not given, so meaning our order point will only be expected demand during lead time. All right, now we get into the TSC. The TSC is a total stocking cost. So when you're doing stock taking, you are only considering the carrying cost, annual carrying cost, and what you have ordered. So total stocking cost is made up of two costs, that is annual carrying cost and the annual ordering cost. So that's the total stocking.
Are you in the office?
Yes.
Is lunch are there? Please ask her to come. Her phone is off.
Yeah, I can even use my, I can even use them. Yeah. So, as I mentioned, the total stocking cost is made up of two costs, the annual carrying cost and the annual ordering cost. So you look at the annual carrying cost and then the annual ordering cost. That is the composition of the total stocking cost. So the formula is given by total stocking cost is equal to annual carrying cost. So the first part is annual carrying cost, and then the other one is annual ordering cost. So Q is the EOQ over 2 multiplied by C. Our C is carrying cost. Then S is ordering cost per order. Okay, so now you get to that one. S is ordering cost, this is annual demand. Then the last formula is total material cost. This last formula, we look at it, the purchasing model, model 1, inventory purchasing model. Total material cost is equal to annual carrying cost plus annual ordering cost, then plus acquisition cost per unit multiplied by annual demand. So the total material cost is made up of annual carrying cost, annual ordering cost, and the acquisition cost multiplied by annual demand. So this marks the end of the total material cost. So we can have what the example here. So what is important is for you to understand the concept before we get even other questions from anyone else, like the pamphlet or from any other question papers. You can go through this example 1 here. So example one, we have APC company has annual demand of 25,000 units. The ordering cost per order of 200 kwacha, and the acquisition cost per unit is at 30 kwacha. So we are acquiring a unit at 30 kwacha. Then the carrying cost is at 20% of acquisition cost. So already carrying cost is the percentage of unit price, or carrying cost is the percentage of acquisition cost. That's the carrying cost. The company operates 250 days of the year, and the lead time is 2 days. So from this information, you can see we have annual demand there. You have the ordering cost per order, the unit price of 30 kwacha, the carrying cost is at 20% of acquisition cost. So we can actually calculate how many units we can order at a time. So calculate the following: the economic order quantity, then the cycle time. So all the formulas, they are there. So all the formulas have been given up. So you can find the number of orders in a year, the order point, the total stocking cost, and total material cost. So you can get to the solution. Our D is 25,000. From there, then we have our S, which is ordering cost per order of 200 kwacha, then acquisition cost per unit of 30 kwacha, and the carrying cost is at 20% of unit price. Okay, so you have those ones. And then you have the company operates 250 days of the year, and the lead time is 2 days. So now from here we can see this is our annual demand, which is 25,000 units. So these are the cardinal points that you need to look at. The acquisition cost per unit is 30 kwacha. So if I know how many units can we order at a time. Okay, so EOQ is equal to, we come here, you find zero. This is the S is 200. From there, acquisition cost per unit is 30, the days of the year 250. Then the carrying cost is 20% of acquisition cost. So it's 20% of the unit price. So you find 20% of 30, which is 6 kwacha. Days of the year 250. Then we look at it. This is model 1. EOQ is 2 multiplied by demand of 25,000 by S, which is ordering cost per order. It has been given here, 200. Then also carrying cost is 6 kwacha, meaning is 20% of 30, which is 6 kwacha. So the economic order quantity is 1,290.99 units. So if you get this one wrong, it will affect the other questions coming, because the other question says you need to find the cycle time. So cycle time, the formula is Q over D. The Q is the EOQ, which is the one which we have found there. So you substitute there, you get the cycle time in days. So you have 12.9099 days. So between, so this is the time between orders. So time between orders, when you place one order from the other one, before we place the other order. So this is the cycle time. The whole number of orders in a year, how many times can you order in a year? At the time we are ordering 1,290.99. Then our annual demand is 25,000. So meaning number of orders in a year, so approximately you can just say 20 orders. So at the time you're ordering 1,290.99 and you want to meet the annual demand of 25,000. So number of orders in a year is approximately 20. Then the order point, we said the formula is expected demand during lead time plus the safety stock. Lead time, like I mentioned, is a time between when you place an order and when you receive an order. That's a lead time. So we have to find the daily demand multiplied by lead time. That's the expected demand during lead time. Daily demand multiplied by lead time. Now, our daily demand is equal to annual demand divided by the days of the year. That's how we find the daily demand. Okay, so find the expected demand during lead time. So meaning we can say 25,000 divided by 250, which is 100 units. So meaning our reorder point is equal to expected demand during lead time plus safety stock. The safety stock hasn't been given. So meaning our reorder point will just be 100 multiplied by the lead time, which is from the formula here. Lead time has been given up here. We know the lead time is 2 days. From the question here, the lead time is 2 days. So meaning, as we come down here, you see that our expected demand during lead time will actually be 100 multiplied by 2 days. We are getting 200 units. So this means that should stock fall to 200 units, the firm should order 1,290.99 units. That's what it means, because you're almost running out of stock. So your reorder point, when you only to order again, should be 200 units. So when stock falls to 200 units, you need to order the entire batch, the economic order quantity of 1,290.99, because at this reorder point, you're almost running out of stock. So it's a danger zone for the firm. So you need to order the batch when the stock falls to 200 units. That's what it means. Now you need to get the total stocking cost. Total stocking cost is the annual carrying cost. So this one is annual carrying. So this is also called ordering cost. The C is called the ordering cost. This is the ordering cost per order. So this is annual ordering cost, and this is annual carrying cost. The first part is annual carrying cost. Then the second one is the annual ordering cost. So our total stocking cost is equal to 1,290.99, which is the EOQ. So this one is the EOQ. So this one is the EOQ. So EOQ, which is this one here. This one is this one, the EOQ, which is the same as this one. So this one and this just that. So we have this one we have already calculated, divide by 2 and multiplied by 6, which is the carrying cost, which has already been calculated. The D is 25,000 over the EOQ of 1,290.99 multiplied by the S is ordering cost per order of 200. So here, these two values are supposed to be almost the same. So we're getting 3872.9832. 3872, in most cases, these two are supposed to be almost the same, or if anything, exact. So you have gotten that one. Okay. So we have the total stocking cost. So as at now, my area of concern is to do model 1, so that as we go bit by bit, we can move on to the production model, and then we also need to come and do the discount model. So the total stocking cost, when you add these two, you're getting 7745.966. Now we get into the last one from the question here, where it says you need to find the total material cost. The total material cost, which is the last one. So total material cost has 3 major costs: the annual carrying cost, the annual ordering cost, and the unit price, which is this one is also called unit price multiplied by annual demand. So it's a unit price. So this one is unit price. So unit price, then multiplied by annual demand. So unit price. So that one is unit price. So this is the unit price. This one is the unit price. So unit price multiplied by D is annual demand. So here we are just it's just a build up. So in fact, we just get this one, then plus acquisition cost per unit from the question is 30 kwacha per unit. We are acquiring 1 unit of a product at 30 kwacha from the question here. is the third quarter, let's say representing cost. So you come and multiply, and then we get 30 multiplied by 25,000, and we are getting total material cost, which is just the total stocking cost, and this one. For these two, are more like the total stocking cost. So you are getting, this is the final answer for the total material cost. So in every question paper, when you come across the question where you are doing a purchasing model, these formulas apply. Now, even when looking at the discount model, as we look at model 3, we are not going to go for any other formula. We are going to just use the same formulas for the purchasing model that apply to the discount model, because they can only give you the discount when you are buying. So this is a model 1 that we've done so far, and we have looked at an example, this one. So the most important thing is just to have time to go through and to actually look at the other question papers where we can do examples. So here, this marks the end of model number 1, which is in the purchasing model. So the example has been given. So you just need to go through this example here for model 1, so that before you get into other models like model 2 and model 3. So any questions so far? So any questions for so far for model 1 concerning even the formulas? So if there are no questions, then I will take it that it is clear, unless otherwise.
Okay, there being no questions, there's a pamphlet. Those of you who booked, it has questions. Of course, we are updating it with the previous exam paper. So there are actually 7 key topics that you need to know, starting from inventory down to focusing down to inventory. So now I need to clarify with you 2 things: the times when you're available, so that we could harmonize the timetable when new people are readily available. And also those ones that may be having crashing classes, so that we could know when we could do makeup classes. I'll send the video in the group for those of you who joined in late.